before we get going, you in there. So I need you to do something for me. First, get out of full screen. All right. You see down there the subscribe. I want you to click that. All right. Good. And then right next to it, there's a bell. You see the options. You press the bell. Press the bell. Okay. Pick all. You got it? Good. All right. Let's go full screen again. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Ranting with Wrenches. This is Joe. My name is Ricky. Today we have something a little special for you. What we're going to be doing is a 3-part mini series that will explain the 3 stages of a project car. So the first part that we're going to go over today is going to be to build or to buy, and why have you chosen
to do that option, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You already know the answer for me. My answer is always to build, but it's kind of like a mix of both, actually. You know what I mean? Because if you want a newer car, you still have to buy, but then you still will have to build on top of that if you're going in that route. You know what I mean?
Okay, so outside of the financial component, because no matter what, you're always going to have to buy a car.
You're always going to have to buy a car.
But maybe like a little bit more clarification would be: do you buy something that's already modded and ready to go,
like 400?
Maybe, yeah, or like maybe you tweak it a little bit for your specifications, or do you try to find something that's practically untouched? Maybe some light modification, but the rest of the journey really depends on you.
I usually try to find something that's not modified yet.
Okay, so you want untouched, completely clean, full stock,
fully. All right, yeah. And just build on it.
Yeah.
My sense, I like to go in like levels. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And power wise, just to get used to the car. Mm-hmm. So like my Subaru,
which is always a smart way to go.
It is. And the Subaru, they got power stage 1, 2, 3, 3 plus, and all. It goes on and on. But in that one, I went from stock to stage 2, and then I went from that to stage 3, and then stage 3 plus whatever, which is intake, exhaust, all that.
You're pretty much like entering that track phase.
But now, yeah,
like when you start getting into the power range that you're getting into. Now you're going to have to start doing some suspension work to kind of make sure that power is going to the ground.
Yeah. I have the coilovers, but, there's other stuff, braces, and all that. And those things are not cheap at all.
They're not cheap, and they're not... Some of them are easy to put on, but, when you got snow on the ground, it's not happening.
That's the biggest thing up here. The winter,
I know. It stops everything. It's a car hibernation season. Mm-hmm. So...
How about you?
I'm riding the fence here. I'm not entirely, but a little bit. So, I feel like you can buy a car that somebody like has started, like so for me, I was like, so I don't know, let's say let's go I don't know, what's something good, let's go let's go RX-7, right? Let's say I find an RX-7 out in Virginia, right? It's got intake, suspension, and let's say it's got like a stage 1 tune, but it's got some issues with it. It runs, but it doesn't run well. Okay? That, to me, because it's such a rare car, I would, if I mentally and financially know that I can commit to bringing it back to the level that I want it at and then take it a step further, I would be willing to get something like that maybe has a stage 1 or a stage 2 tune on it, where I can do some work, figure things out, and clean things up. I'm not gonna go and buy something that's like
out of your league,
out of my league,
you know what I mean?
or even like maybe in your instance where you've already put so much work into it that now, it's damn near a track car. You know what I mean? That's, I can't take credit for none of that. You know what I mean? So now if something goes wrong, I have no clue what you have on there. I've got no clue what kind of tune you're going on, like you're driving on. So everything in that vehicle is foreign to me. You know what I mean? I can't take it nowhere.
Yep.
They see like, talk to the guy who put the tune in it. And I'm going to be like, well, I bought it from the guy in PA, but I live in, Jersey. You know what I mean? I'm not driving 3 hours, depending where you live in Jersey, to PA every time they ask you a question. So I would say, I would probably so basically I'm going with you. Build.
Yep.
Build, I probably, with the exception of, I wouldn't probably go completely stock, depending on the car.
Okay. So basically, if you're familiar with the car and you have that, base knowledge of what, no matter who put the thing on, you know the situation.
You know what I mean? Like if you buy a Honda Civic and it's got an exhaust, it's got an intake manifold, maybe some upgraded spark coil packs and plugs and stuff, you're not gonna be like, oh no, you modded this, I don't want it. You know what I mean? That's simple bolt-on stuff that any Joe Schmo can return back to stock in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? But something like yours, you know what I mean? Because honestly, even my Jetta in comparison to your Subaru is two completely different levels. I'm on a stage 2 where, like you said, you're damn near entering track territory.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I would not buy your car. Like if you're able to ever sell your car down the line, I'd be amazed. Unless somebody is like, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna rip everything the fuck apart, and I'm gonna build up my own thing. I just want the shell. You know what I mean? Or they part it out.
And that's why most people, they ask you paperwork.
Yeah.
Paperwork, who done it, whatever, see what you bought. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, when you have, like, when you built your car, it makes it a little bit easier to sell it.
Yeah.
At a point.
Yeah, to a point.
Not everybody's going to be willing to want to handle that and get a problem.
What was it? I think it was, was it a VR6? I think it was another 180 GLI down like 40, like maybe 2 hours away from here in Pottstown. And the guy put a brand new motor and trans in the car. He said the motor had 90,000 miles on it and the trans had about 60, 70,000 miles on it. I was like, okay. I was like, you got paperwork for it? And he was like, no. I was like, do you know what I mean, have, a picture of the car that you took it out of? You know what I mean? Something that can prove to me that this motor is what you said. Who installed it? Do you have, paperwork that you bought it from? Nah, all that stuff is gone. I threw it out like a year ago. Always keep that stuff. Always keep that stuff. Even if you got to take pictures, save it on Google Docs, whatever. Like when you do trans engine work, like replacing, building it, keep the paperwork. Because people, especially if you want a certain dollar range, if you are selling a car that's got a built motor and you're saying, I'm not taking no less than 15 grand for this car because it got a built motor, show me the paperwork. Show me the proof. You still may not get that 15 grand, but somebody might be willing to be like, okay, I'll give you this much because you put this much into the motor, but it's still an old ass car.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, for part 1.
For part 1.
You know what I mean? Our answer is built for both of us.
Yep, we're both going built.
Build
To build ourselves.
Yeah. Stay with us for part 2, which is
it's going to be which way would you rather go? Moderate upgrades which would be like a stage 1, stage 2, something where, you know, it's mainly bolt-ons, or full out build, like you're trying to push tracks, wide body kits, stuff like that.
Yep.
Completely original looking vehicles, you know, motor, suspension, everything, the whole 9.
So, as usual, till part 2.
Wrench Daily.